What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the 30% podcast episode 186. Why are you doing gang signs? 186. My name is Sam. As always, I am joined by Afam Gitura,
AKA a fine African man. Don't forget that. That's very, very important in my introduction.
A fine African man. And that was so childish.
That's so childish. That's the most childish thing you've ever done in your life.
I actually didn't feel good doing that.
I did feel good watching that.
I won't do it again. I'll think of something else to do. To rage against your self big up. So sorry about that. Episode 186. We talk about the Kenyan music industry here. We hope to get to we aim to have Kenyan artists paid more, played more. We try to highlight art to make art important to us. And us meaning the Kenyan music industry that we're both part of. We both produce. And yeah, we just here to talk, kick it, have conversation, share our opinions, hot takes, cold takes. And yeah.
And lukewarm takes as well.
Lukewarm takes are, I think, are the unsung heroes. They're
the worst, man.
Oh.
Don't you hate people who stay on the fence?
And
who are always politically correct?
If it's a security, I don't mind. I like my security being able to see everything around them. I've never seen a security man on the fence. I'm digressing.
See, I told you this podcast was built on corny jokes, and you tried to.
That wasn't a joke. You make corny jokes.
No, but that was corny in general. That was corny in general.
Oh, corny in general.
Yeah,
corny in general. That hurts me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That hurts me, man.
Sam, how are you? I'm sorry for hurting your feelings.
Corny in general,
but how are
just
you doing?
pains me. I'm all right. I'm okay. I've been cool. I just recently, I want to say successfully, but I feel like I'm speaking before turn. I have successfully fended off a cold, a flu, the common cold and the flu.
Let's go. There's nothing better than when you get ahead of it.
I've gotten ahead.
Nice.
It was catching up. It was catching up to me. It was a bit crazy, but then I have almost successfully fended it off. Over the weekend, it was beating me up. I chewed ginger. Listen, guys, ginger. And by guys, I mean you, because you're the only one in the room. Ginger, raw ginger.
No, but there's also the people watching and listening.
No, but then that makes it very broadcasty.
But this is a broadcast. What's happening right now? Okay, raw ginger.
Chewing raw ginger, just like not with anything, no honey, no nothing. Just cut it into a slice, and just chew it. It helps with like a sore throat. And then after that, you can take medication for the other things because you can't defeat a virus with ginger. But I think I've successfully fended it off. So we'll obviously wait to see. Still feel like weird though. I feel weakish. Anyway, apart from that, it's been, oh my goodness, it's been the World Cup. I have been watching the World Cup.
This World Cup has not been World Cupping. We said this last week.
Yeah, no, but I've been watching it at least. I've actually watched some of, because I wake up really early. I wake up at like, if I sleep in old man hours, I wake up at between earliest like 3:30ish, but that's wild. So it's usually like 4 to 5.
What? So you wake up at 3:30?
I know. And what's really wrong, because I haven't learned to utilize that time properly. So 6 rolls around and I'm like, yeesh, that's like 3 hours already spent doing nothing.
Yeah.
Contemplating life. But I've been watching the games. I've been watching at least so since I'm awake, I watch the early games. I do what I need to do in the morning, connect with my higher power, and then watch the game. So that has been interesting. But it just throws my day off. I don't think I'll keep doing that unless it's like a really, really important game. But the World Cup has been there. Germany Brazil. No, Germany Curacao.
7-1 is so
Germany
crazy.
Brazil Curacao. Because Brazil also got a 7-1 from Germany. Brazil did not Brazil Morocco.
Yeah, but that happened so many years ago, man.
It's fine. It's part of the legacy.
And Brazil versus Morocco, like Brazil.
It was a good match.
But they didn't look
It was
good.
a good match, but oh goodness, they're atrocious. Hey, if any of the Brazilians are listening to this podcast, Vini Jr., you guys should do better, man.
There goes your hopes of getting a Brazilian wax. That might be one of the craziest things I've ever said on this podcast.
Yeah, how are you, man? I'm not even going to respond to that. How are you doing? What's been going on?
I'm sorry. I don't know what's
Why
going on.
would you
with
think
me.
I would opt for Brazilian wax?
Who knows? Who knows what's happening in your life, man? Also, it's
not
hygienic.
Brazilian wax.
It's hygienic, so actually that would be a great thing. But let's not
I
talk
don't want to talk about this. We should cut this whole segment off. What's going on in your life? Don't ever do that again, man. Brazilian wax. It's me, man.
I'm doing fine.
Brazilian wax.
I'm doing good. I haven't been watching the World Cup. I'm not gonna lie. I've just been watching like highlights and stuff like that.
It's not bad. If you like football, it's not bad.
So you say I don't like football?
Yeah, you only like Arsenal.
No, the thing is,
you only watch football when it's Arsenal.
No. That's not true. But the thing is, like, the time difference is just killing me, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna wake up. Although I wouldn't lie, I did wake up like at 4 a.m. recently, and this was like I didn't intend for this, but then I woke up, I couldn't go back to sleep, and then I ended up watching the Knicks Spurs like last game. I'm not even into basketball like that, but like the final was actually very lit. And seeing them win reminds me so much of Arsenal because, like, it's like our fates are intertwined.
No,
but they really are.
An Arsenal fan to bring Arsenal into everything.
But but it's not just me. Like, a lot of people have been making this like parallel because one, their fan base is unhinged, and it's very, very similar to our
Pretty
fan
annoying,
base.
honestly.
Some people would say the Knicks fan base is annoying, but like, yeah, like their fan base is very similar to ours. And then also they've gone a really long time without winning. Approximately 53 years they went without winning. So it just felt like our fates were intertwined. So yeah, watched that. Also watched F1.
Oh yeah.
My guy Lewis Hamilton is back on the score.
He has been struggling for years, man. He's been carrying sixth and fifth.
He's been in the
seventh
depressed place.
I saw Hamilton at ninth one time. I was like, what am I seeing? He's been in a sunken place.
And the sunken place, that's what I wanted to say. And there was somebody random, and he was signing stuff, and there was somebody, like one of the fans just shouted at him, "Remember who you are."
That's cheesy. Don't yell at me. Remember who I am when I just won.
Yeah, well, no. This happened like, I think it was even pre-season.
Oh, okay,
like he was just signing things, and somebody was just like, "Yo, Lewis, remember who you are." And so when he won yesterday, his caption on Instagram was "Remember who you are." And I just think that's the coolest thing ever, because it's like, bro, like it's for cheesy. Real. Remember who you are, Sam. Remember who you are.
Do you know that guy planned it? That guy was content shopping. It was content farming.
I don't think so. It felt
content maxing.
It felt very, very content maxing. It felt very organic.
Just yelling, "Yo, Louis, remember who you are" from the sidelines.
Yeah, because you're trying to like
you woke up in the morning and thought about that.
Yeah, you're trying to support your goat.
Is he? Isn't it Michael Schumacher?
No, he's tied. He's tied with him in terms of World Drivers' Championships.
Oh, nice. So if he wins, all right.
And that's why him not winning the 8th was such a big deal. But anyway, this isn't the F1 podcast.
I realize that we do that a lot.
But this is the Love Island podcast. I've also been watching Love Island, and I just have to say,
I can feel the interest draining from my body.
I just have to say, guys, like Sincere. I know I backed Sincere last week, but bro, Sincere has been moving crazy. Like he's just been feeding things to Soul and feeding things to Melanie, and now he's actually coupled up with Soul.
Drake fed information to Kendrick's camp.
No, but he's been coupled up with Soul, guys, and those of you who watch Love Island know that this is such a big deal right now, because it's like, what's gonna happen to Melanie? She said that they're not gonna do a triangle. Mel. She doesn't like being called Mel. She doesn't want to do a triangle. But I don't think.
Fine.
I really don't think. I think the triangle is still gonna triangle. Anyway, guys, I will be back.
You can't stop
with
love.
My weekly Love Island.
You can't
review.
hold back love.
We don't watch Love Island UK over here. Although I heard OP was dumped. Goodbye.
Shout out OP.
We're not shouting out OP, man. But anyway. Aside from that,
well, you were outside this week.
I was outside.
Jeez, that's 5 minutes of just unimportant information to what we're supposed to be doing.
It builds context into who you and I are.
I are.
I think therefore I are.
You were outside this week.
And did you used to watch Baboon and Weasel? What was it called?
Baboon and Weasel.
IR Weasel. What was the?
I know what you're talking
I
about.
think it was called
It's a
Baboon
cartoon.
and Weasel.
Was it? Maybe.
I can't remember what it was called.
Baboon and a Weasel is such a weird.
Why am I
weird
having? Yeah, I
pairing
don't think
for
that
a
was what it
friend.
was called.
Baboon and Weasel.
I don't know why I am. I think it was just called I Am Weasel.
It's
Actually,
I Am Weasel.
yeah, I
it's
think
I
it was
Am
just
Weasel.
called I Am Weasel.
Yeah, I like the sound.
The intro.
Yeah, the intro, but I don't remember it. I know I liked it. though.
Oh
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
we're losing them. once every episode we lose them in like the
This
10th
is how
minute.
my brain works, though. Like I always go on tangent.
Anyway, you were out this week.
Oh yeah, I was out. So I went for the Jameson live experience.
Hey.
It was at Nairobi Club in Upper Hill. So this is the second one I've gone for this year. The first one had Odunsi in the lineup. It also had Njerai. And I came here and told you guys. I feel like that one was a bit more. It was a bit more low key because like Odunsi's energy was dope. Me, I was happy to see Odunsi, but it was a very laid back performance.
Yeah.
This one was different. So this edition had We Are Nubia and Santi, who goes by Cruel Santino now. He's a Nigerian artist. He does Alte music. For those of you who don't know, Alte is like an alternative take on Afrobeats.
Alternative.
Exactly, yeah. So he was the headliner. And yeah, so I actually rocked up to the spot like at 5:30.
What time was it starting?
I mean, it was between 2 and 12 p.m.
Oh, 12 a.m.
Oh yeah, 12 a.m. Sorry, and I wasn't gonna be there too. Like no. So yeah, I get there at 5. It was drizzling a little bit, so I was like, man, I hope this
That's the
isn't
worst.
gonna. Yeah, I was like, I hope this isn't gonna be the vibe for the
That's
whole
the
thing.
worst.
I rock in solo because all my guys decided, yo, me, I'm not gonna be.
How
outside.
could they?
Yeah, I know.
How could
Some
they
of
do
my
it?
guys are here, but hey, it's easy. So
Well,
you know.
I told you I was fending off a cold.
Anyway, I rock up solo.
Battling a cold.
And
Fighting it.
So there was a DJ set on. I forget.
Who was the DJ?
Her name.
Nice.
I really forget.
Shout
her
out to the
name.
DJ, whoever you are.
But DJ Ivy also DJ'd, and shout out to her. So anyway, yeah, so that was happening. It was chill, just chill vibes. And then I really, there's nothing much to like talk about before Nubia came on. So Nubia come on, and it was so good to see like the reception they get. Like they have a legitimate fan base. Like and that's just so good to see. And the reason why I'm even highlighting that is because we've seen them from just like almost the inception to where they are now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they go on stage. And yeah, it's dope vibes. They have like a dancer. No, they have 2 dancers on stage with them. And Run was there. Run was running around a lot. No pun intended. But he really was. He was doing a lot. It felt it low-key gave like management vibes. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, so Run was there running around. And yeah, they performed a bunch of songs from their recent project.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the thing that most people were interested in seeing was them perform Longo Longo as well as D&D, because those are their 2 like smashes.
Longo Longo being the most recent one.
Yeah.
D&D is how many? Is it 2 years
like
now?
Is it 2 years? I was gonna say it's like a year old.
Really?
Or a year and a half.
Maybe early last year.
I would say like a year and a half at a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, we can literally just check.
Verify.
Yeah. So anyway, so they go on there. They're doing Longo Longo. So now they do a thing where Zinnia walks on stage and then they do it a cappella. So they do like oh yeah, Modest Chabari was on the keys, by the way. And so now they just did it like a cappella, not a cappella, but without like any drums and stuff. It was just like keys and them singing. And so yeah, that was cool. And then now it cuts to like the main thing, and so now they actually performed the song with the drums and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Have you confirmed when it came out?
My phone is
okay.
slow.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, it was good to see them. I haven't seen them perform Longo Longo live, so that was good. And then yeah, I feel like I want to say they closed with D&D. I'm pretty sure they closed with D&D, and the reaction was amazing. And so everybody was kind of like vibing to D&D. I want to say they did it like twice. I feel like they did it twice.
The
Did they
re-up.
do it twice? They did the thing where I think you do the hook like one more time, or
And then test
shit
it, and
like that.
you know, people were going to be like, "Oh, one more time, please don't leave, please don't leave." Then you do it again.
Yeah.
That's always engineered.
Exactly. So it was cool to see both of them on stage. And then after that, there was a short interlude, and then Crow Santino came on
Came out on the 16th of May.
of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
So around a
literally
year old.
a year, man.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Santi comes on stage. The energy,
Of course,
was
it's
different,
Santi,
man.
Santi has built that for himself.
Yeah. And so I would say Santi is he's way more comfortable in terms of performing compared to Odunsi. He had just more energy, just way more energy.
We could tell though. Remember, because we went to the what was it? The listening before Odunsi's thing. Before his performance.
Yeah, and Odunsi was very.
And you could just tell from his energy, like he was just very.
No, he's just that he's
whatever,
too
bro.
cool.
Like,
he's too cool.
you know. Yeah, probably Santi has done a little bit more.
So seeing Santi perform Sparky, Gangsta Fear, Rapid Fire, and then he had
Rapid Fire is my joint. I love that song so much.
So he performed it twice, and then the second time he had fans come onto the stage to like perform it with him.
Ooh.
Like 3 different fans were on stage with him.
Did they act right, or were they fanning? Were they losing their mind? Because people who go up there and they think, this is my time to shoot my shot.
It was a mix of both.
Oh, okay.
It was a mix of both. Like there was a little bit of fanning out, but then they actually were really comfortable on stage. And so, yeah, it was just dope seeing Santi like in the flesh. But yeah, that was W night.
W night. Well, that's dope. That's dope. I missed that one. I was like, it was. Because as the show was going, I saw a couple of people's like stories and stuff about it. I was like, it's already been good to go, but I don't suffer from FOMO, so
he thinks he's better than us. That's literally just him saying he's better than us. I just don't. So
like, I'm not there. Like, what am I going to be? I wish I was there. But it looked like it was cool. It'll be good to see a performance like that from an artist who I've sort of followed loosely.
Very loosely.
Speaking of very loosely, it's a self-plug. But actually, I was thinking about, because I'm gearing up to continue releasing. So I was thinking about how to sell music directly to people. So I set up like a little hustle sasa thing where people can like buy the songs directly. But I was really struck. I was wondering like, what is the right price for a song? Like I sat down there for a while trying to figure out, okay, I don't want it to seem like I'm being pretentious and like I'm trying to take people's money.
I mean,
but at the same time, what is this song worth?
The music industry usually prices it at $9.99, which would be around like $1,300, Bob.
Oh, I need to go change that then, yeah.
But are people going to buy something?
That's what I was thinking about.
$9.99.
Because you need to price it low enough that people would see, hey, I have that. I can just.
No, but that's actually for the entire project, right?
Yeah, for a single, it would be what?
I'm not sure.
$1-ish?
We will come back with you.
Anyway,
with this.
Those are the things I was thinking. I was like, I don't want it to be too much.
So what was the price point you selected?
I mean, I'm still going to revise it, but I put it at 100 shillings. I know that sounds low, but I was thinking like, I mean, it's 100. Like if it's 100 is almost like a no-brainer in terms of.
If you consider like for the Kenyan version of Spotify, what do people pay? Like it was like 300 bob or something, and people were complaining that it was potentially going to go to 500 bob per month or something like that. So if that's a complaint, and this is access to like
100 a lot
Spotify, then 100 sounds like okay, yeah, that's cool. Like
it's
but you shouldn't go less than 100
probably. Anyway, so I was doing that. That's a tangent. That was because you mentioned very loosely. Loosely is my lo-fi brand, ambient, electronic, chill music lo-fi brand. That I just do like music that I like to make when I'm not trying to be a serious producer, and some of it sounds really nice. And so that's the track is called Ethereal. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere.
Since we're doing plugs,
the thing is, we were not doing plugs though, but go ahead. What would you like us to?
No,
to
some
pay
people were
attention to?
asking who does my hair. And
Are we do okay?
shout out to Moas, cultured hands. Like bro, he's the only person I can ever trust to do my hair, man. Like genuinely, like Moas, like holds me
I should have done.
down.
This is crazy.
He
It's
holds me
become a whole-
down.
It's become a whole sponsor. This is when people skip the sponsored section on
15
YouTube.
seconds.
Yeah. You know what I hate? When guys are talking, they're into it, and then hold up, guys. I know you are enjoying that conversation. I just want to
Let me tell you guys about
leave me alone,
Boost
man.
Mobile.
Skip.
Boost Mobile.
Skip. It's
Sam.
either Boost Mobile or Better Help.
Sam, I noticed you
Or
were
HelloFresh.
Sam, I noticed you were struggling to look for the song. That might be because of the slow Wi-Fi you have. Well, let me tell you about my
That's how
solution.
they do it too. Oh, it's nasty work, man. I don't want to know what you skip forward, man.
Mid, skip.
Yeah.
So anyway, while I was at the show, I actually wanted to talk about this with you. While I was at the show, I noticed, so Karun was there.
Shout out Karen.
Or Karen. And see, that's how she said she likes to be referenced. Anyway, Ran was also there. And both of them seemed very, very involved in what We Are Nubia had going on. Like when We Are Nubia were coming on stage, like I noticed like Karen and Ran were both like really hands-on. Last time I was talking to somebody in the industry and I was like, yo, who manages We Are Nubia?
Yeah.
And the response I got was that they're self-managing their shit. Like they kind of just do
running
their own
themselves.
things.
Mhm.
How many run puns are we gonna do?
Run pun.
Run puns. Like this is the run pun
Run pun
podcast.
pod.
Apparently. So anyway, so me, I've always known that they're kind of like just doing this shit by themselves, right? But then when I was there, I was like, wait, it seems like Karen and Ran were
doing
very,
a lot.
because like what they needed water, like you know how artists need water on stage.
They're doing stage
and
management.
stuff like that. Yeah. So they were like, yo, even Karen was like water. And then when the dancers were coming off the stage, like Karen would go talk to them. I don't know what they're talking about, but like just kind of like it felt very like managey-ish.
Yeah.
And I was like, is Karen managing We Are Nubia? I had to ask the question. Like in my head, I'm like, is Karen managing We Are Nubia? Now that might not be. Listen, me, I'm just like speculating. But it got me thinking about artists managing other artists.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing since the dawn of time, and some people like it. Some people think it might be problematic. And I wanted to ask you, how do you generally feel about artists managing artists? Do you think it offers more value because this artist, and usually it's an artist who has had some semblance of success, right? Has had experience.
Sometimes.
Most times.
There's artists I've seen who haven't done anything and they're talking about, yo, let me sign you. But anyway.
Okay, but that's not what's happening in this case.
That's not the norm. Yeah.
But yeah, like so usually they're coming with vast experience. They're coming with, you know, a lot of time spent in the industry,
Gathered
and
resources.
networks,
Yeah.
connections,
Yeah.
as well as resources. So looking at it from that angle, some people would say this is a plus. Like it's a value add. Like I want somebody who has been this entrenched into the industry to manage what I've got going on. Other people feel like having an artist be your manager or kind of manage like your situation might be a bit of a challenge because they also are working on their
Divided
own
attention.
Yeah, their own career. Like for example, people always say like Drake, the artists who are signed under him, they never like really thrive because like bro is like all about like his own brand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so people are like, I don't know if it's a good idea to like sign under an artist. But you, what do you think?
Yeah, this is one of those things where I think it just depends. A lot of the times it doesn't really work out. I think just because of the nature of how art is. Artists might, as much as they might mean well, it will be hard for them to, because you're balancing the spotlight, essentially is what you're doing. You're balancing the spotlight, you're balancing business. And that becomes very tricky for some artists. The artists who do that well. And I think the ones that do that well are the ones who are able to be not as hands-on, like they're able to be a little bit removed from the process. And so they're just offering oversight. if I bring it to the Kenyan context, I think that's what Sauti Sol, Chimano, Bien, Polycarp, and Savara were doing for Soul Generation while I was there. It's more of oversight. They're not like every day in there, like, oh, what are you doing? But then you have a team, and then you just manage direction, you manage vibes, you manage all that resources and everything. So when you do that, artists who do that, especially if they have experience, that works out very well. The problem is artists who have not figured out the systems for themselves, and not just figured it out for themselves, but then don't have the experience in that specific system.
You mean the artist who...
the artist who is managing.
On to manage.
Yeah,
okay.
The managing artist. They don't have the experience. They don't have the all the resources that they think, or they need some of those resources for themselves. Because when push comes to shove, might end up using it for themselves. So those are the kind of artists where it's like, you're like, it's probably not wise for an artist to sign to another artist who is still building themselves up, unless obviously they have the separate resources, a separate team for managing these people. Sometimes it works, but if it's working, it's only working for like artists who are small. Once you get on the big stage, it's never going to work if you're doing it solo. I don't know if that makes sense.
Wait, what do you think it wouldn't work in the big stage?
On the big stage, big money going around, big shows, big artists just you would be balancing, even it won't be even conscious, but then subconsciously you would be, listen, if I as an artist, I have an opportunity to charge for $500,000 a show, right? Of course, there's a big artist now. You're charging $500,000 a show. And you have the CEO upcoming artist who has also been offered that amount of money because maybe they have a smash hit. You guys have done a big hit. As an artist, I feel like there'll be a bit of a push and pull. Like, it's very few people. All I'm saying is very few people will give that opportunity to the younger artist.
So are you saying that there's an issue with ego? It's called dramatic effect.
Are you being dramatic?
Is there an issue with ego?
Yeah. Egos clash. They clash a lot, and there's many stories about that. Like many artists who've signed to other artists who have kept them from the spotlight. Like a very big or notable one would be, I'm thinking of like Joe Budden when he had Pump It Up, and he was like really out in the streets. He signed to Jay-Z, but then Joe's
technically
sort
not
of
to Jay-Z.
Yeah, but to Rock Nation.
Okay.
And well, I don't know whether it's Rock Nation or whatever. Jay-Z was involved, right? Now, I'm only bringing it up because... I
believe it was Def Jam.
Probably Def Jam. Sorry, I got it wrong. He has complained many times that he wasn't given the shine that he thought he would be getting from Jay-Z.
That's valid.
Mm-hmm. And he is saying that if he probably was signed to someone else, maybe he would have, those opportunities that he got, he would have taken it. And he wouldn't have been, of course, he had beef with him because Jay-Z also took his biggest record, Pump It Up, and did a freestyle on it. And Joe felt like he overshadowed him on that. So that's the kind of thing that happens. When you're at that big stage, it's hard for one artist who has a lot of shine and momentum and still has goals to achieve to just give that up and be like, you know what, here, you're a young artist, you have it. Very few people do that.
That's a key thing you've said. And still has goals to achieve.
Yeah.
Because if an artist doesn't feel like they still have those goals to achieve, then they could actually set the other artists they have up for greatness. One example that's coming to me is if you guys were really tapped into like Juice WRLD and that era of music, before Juice WRLD, I was really, really locked in. And this is actually some of my lore in terms of how I started making music. I was really entrenched in the Chicago drill scene.
Yeah.
That's how I started making music because I wanted to make drill music. And there was one artist I really, really liked. He was called Lil Bibby. He used to make
BB, not baby.
BIBBY, Bibby. And so yeah, he used to he used to make music with G Herbo. You know G Herbo.
Yeah.
At the time, G Herbo used to go by Lil Herb. So anyway, I was a huge fan of what they had going on. And then all of a sudden, Lil Bibby stopped. He just stopped making music. And he was like, yeah, I'm falling back. Like, and we're like, what's going on? Whole time, he started a whole production company called Grade A Productions.
Yeah.
And he signed Juice WRLD. And he made Juice WRLD one of the biggest artists in the world.
But BB is not like a BB. I'm calling him BB.
But
like
the thing I'm saying is to piggyback onto what you're saying
Yeah.
is I think he's done with
But
music.
that's what I was about to say. Like, he's not a household name, so it's not like
For some people, he's a household name.
He's not
He's
my
a household name to me.
Not my household. But yeah, he didn't. It didn't seem like
Is
he
this
was.
the podcast about hurting each other's feelings? What's going on?
Oh, wait, did that hurt your feelings?
Yes, because I rate him highly.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, but I
Lil BB, by the when
I humbly
Spotify were doing the
I'm apologizing, bro.
Oh wait, oh sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say when Spotify were rolling out the stats thing, Lil BB is the first artist I ever listened to on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A song with another guy called King Louis. That's how we move. Anyway.
Yeah. So like for him now, it probably is like, I'm not trying to be like to push for spotlight like that. If an artist is really trying to push for the spotlight, at some point, the artist who has signed to them, because there's obviously inferior, I don't mean inferior in like a bad way, but then there's not
a complex.
Not even a complex, like your lower priority in their eyes. And so it's going to be very hard for them to get an opportunity which would definitely better you.
But not if you're making a bunch of money. Like right now, Ty Dolla $ign is managing the guy who made Mutt, Leon Thomas.
Okay.
And Ty Dolla $ign is actively making music. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So maybe
sometimes if
this fringe theory of mine about Karun having a hand in what we and Nubia have going on is a thing, maybe this is good.
Yeah, it could work. Again, it could work if.
But then this is just complete speculation.
Yeah, this is conjecture. Is it conjecture? Is that the word?
Conjecture.
Is that the word? That's the thing. If like, for example, I'm pretty sure Ty Dolla $ign is not doing it himself. Like, he's not. All I'm saying is that because there's a high levels. At the high levels, obviously, the artists have they have labels, they have groups, and so they have the resources enough to take care of that artist without being hands-on involved. So that works. When you bring it down to a low level where it's artists that are just starting out, it's hard. Even artists who signed to, just broaden it, artists who sign to producers, that's the same thing. Sometimes, while that's almost a different thing, if a producer has signed 3, 4, 5 artists, he begins to weigh his priorities, and that can affect an artist a lot. So it's just a whole thing. If an artist has a label and you're sure that, listen, they have enough resources to go around and I don't have to rely on their text. All right, this is ready to release, unless you have that relationship with them. But then, okay, now this is ready. If you don't have to wait for that, then it's fine to sign to an artist, because they sort of, if it's a good artist, they know some of the pitfalls, they know some of they've been through the road that you're going to go to or through in some sense.
For me, I think the only advice I would say is just be sure that the artist who you're signing to is really, really like locked in on your career. You know what I mean? Cause yeah, there really is times when they also now start to prioritize what they've got going on, and then like now it's just
stealing is real.
You know what I mean?
If they're prioritizing themselves,
that's another thing.
You're doing in the studio, they'll be popping to the studio. Oh yeah, I like this. Next week they release a song, the same exact name, same melodies. There's nothing you can do about it, because somewhere in the fine print in the contract, it's saying, hey, listen, if you do hear, and artists don't be reading their contracts too. If you hear that as many of your music is out, listen, just charge it to the game. That happens.
That does happen. Hopefully not in this case. Well, but this, like I said, this is a whole.
No, and also it's still, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's speculation, obviously. Yeah, but it's also still.
But I think that's pretty cool, though. I think it's pretty cool if it's true. Like if my thinking is right or whatever. Like I think it would be a pretty interesting, like dynamic. Because I do want to see. I want to see what that looks like in terms of leveraging the networks and just like even like the producers that like Karun uses or the
Yeah.
I don't know, like even the vast amount of like networks in terms of like shows and that type of stuff. Like it would be interesting to see them integrate that into We Are Nubia's.
It would be good, yeah.
We're speaking as though this is like something that's set in stone.
It's okay. Listen, disclaimer: this is just
yes.
if this happens, then this happens. But yeah, also I think We Are Nubia tend to be torn. Let me not say torn, but then their focus leans more toward the Kenyan industry, I would say, while the people that you're mentioning have a little bit more
international
hold, in the international market. So that could be a good thing as well, just sort of bridging them from, what they've done. And they've done really well. And I think they're still obviously making a name for themselves, but then they're becoming a big deal here with a couple of hits, the hits that they've released. So that would be good to see. That would be really good to see.
You know what would be good to see?
Segue King. Here we go.
Kenyans having like rollouts that make sense.
That are specific and make sense. Why? Pray tell. Why do you say that, Afam?
Okay, so I saw Otile Brown on an interview, and he was talking about the song that they just released with Willie Paul.
Yeah.
And so he has this song come out, and then recently he also releases a song called Niwewe in the same week. Now, what's frustrating me or what vexes me, and me and Sam have had this conversation like behind the scenes.
We have it almost every week, to be honest.
Is when, and this happens a lot in our industry, where an artist will have multiple releases on the same week.
Yeah.
I think that needs to end. I honestly, I think it's one of the most horrible things about music because, or what's happening in the industry right now, because it cheapens the value or the essence of what releasing music is.
Yeah.
One, I think it's really annoying. So he says that it happened due to miscommunication, right? But taking it out of Otile, for example, you look at a lot of artists, especially artists who are maybe even in the urban tone circles and stuff like that, or gengetone, like Furthermore, for example, bro, there's weeks where he might even have 3 songs out at the same time.
Yeah.
And for me, it really bothers my soul because it's like, what are you signaling to your fan base to listen to?
Pay attention to.
Pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think it really, really dilutes your essence as an artist. If I'm managing an artist, when we release music, I want us to focus on that release. Even if it's only for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? And so for me, I'm just like, no, we have to move better. And for me, it's like, it is that deep. Because some people might be like, yo, my
favorite artist is giving me music. Like I've gotten 3 songs. I've gotten him a solo song. I've gotten him on a hip hop joint. And then I also have him doing a Gengetone release here. Like I'm eating. Why are you taking away from? Why are you trying to take my plate away?
There's this illusion that happens where people feel like releasing music is really easy, and is not something that needs to be done at a high level in terms of how much am I putting into marketing, how much am I putting into the rollout
song. The complete evolution of the song from inception to
it feels almost like when we were just releasing music on SoundCloud, where I wake up today and I'm like, yo, boom, I'm just gonna drop something.
Yeah.
As much as that was a cool time and a cool era, that era is gone. And I do miss that era. Don't get me wrong. Like I came up from the SoundCloud era. But bro, right now, if you're on that level and you're trying to push your music appropriately, bro, let's focus on better rollouts. Why do you think there isn't why do you think artists aren't as thinking about this in a more serious way? Why do you think there's an agreeance or just a laxity or just it's fine, I'll release 3 songs in a week, it doesn't really matter?
Yeah. First off, before I get there, I think it's different for some artists. Like an artist like Idaziz, a Sophia Nzao, and Nesmburu, who are doing songs with multiple different people. Like Ness will drop three songs a week. He does this. We've also seen that sometimes where he drops 3 different songs with different producers. Now they are doing different music, and they're just lending their voice to it. So this producer in Stockholm might decide they're releasing this week, and then the other one here in Kenya might decide they're releasing. And so it's harder to coordinate that because you're not part of that. But then,
and do you think they have a huge say on when those songs come out?
Maybe they might. Again, depends on their relationship with the producers, and a lot of those relationships is more of, I don't say hired help, but then it's more of like you're just lending your voice to it. You're not really part of the creative process in terms of the full spectrum of things.
Got you.
So that one I'm okay with. House music and that stuff, like that's fine. But then like just regular artists, yeah, I don't know. One, why do I think it is? I think one is just, this is going to sound harsh. I don't think we have a culture that prioritizes the full spectrum of art. Music. By art, I mean now music in this case. We don't have a culture that prioritizes that. And so if I have my collective, right, and we do a song, the goal should be, how can I maximize this song to its fullest potential? People aren't thinking about that. People are not thinking. I think a lot of our artists stop at niko na ngoma, nataka itoke, imetoka, kwisha. Like, I'm fine with it being out. Or have you guys heard my song? I had a couple of people playing. They're playing it in clubs. They're playing it around. I heard it in matatus. And that's fine. For them, that's cool. People are not thinking about the full spectrum. Because if you think about the full spectrum, you don't want anything to interrupt the plan that you have for a song.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about that. Guys are just releasing music. Hey, we finish the song. Umemix, master. Fit. Hey, ina sound fit sana. Tutoe. And then they just drop it. And that's it. Sometimes there's no pitching going on. It's by luck that they end up on New Music Friday or whatever other things that they have. We don't really think about the process of, we don't value I think the song the way it should be.
The problem is it works sometimes where you release high volume and then it
something
works.
Sticks, yeah.
And so that's the problem. It's like that, the fact that people feel like we've done this and it's worked before, and so I'm just going to keep doing it, where I'll just have high volume releases every time.
But see, I'd rather an industry that takes care of every single song, and sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not. Because sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not. Whichever way you go, than an industry who just like, they're Googling, they're throwing whatever at the wall and saying what sticks. People just don't think about. I think people don't value music the way they should, and that sounds harsh. But then they don't value music the way it should. And fine, you've created a song. First of all, let's not even start talking about the mixing and the mastering. But then you've created a song. We've harped on about that so much. The horse is dead and beat. We've created a song, and for some reason, people think that once it's out, that's all you need to do. There's so much goes into it. Post rollouts are a thing. Post rollouts actually these days are more important than pre rollouts. Going to radio stations and saying, "Hey guys," directing people towards you. Like, what you do after matters. Now, if I as an artist have released a song and I don't care about what I do after, then all I'm focusing on is I have songs out. So if I have a song out with Furthermore this week, the same week I have a song out with Azinia, the same week I have a song out with Ochungulo Family.
Hey, you're lit.
Oh yeah, only the best, man. Listen, only collaborate with the best. And for me, I'm like, hey, this is a win. My fans get to eat. But then imagine 500 people, 1,000 people, 40, 50,000 people being pulled in all 3 different directions. They're the diehards, obviously. You'll have your select few, the diehards who are going to listen to everything. But then for the most part, you're really trying to, you're negotiating attention. Sorry. You're negotiating attention when you release music.
Yeah.
And so you have to, as an artist, figure out how to get the most attention for what you're doing at that specific time, or your goals and your plans. If not, then you're watering everything down, which is what we see.
And also the messaging could like start, because now people were asking Otile if him releasing a song, stepping on the song that they released with Willie Paul, does this mean that you don't like the Willie Paul song? So that's what people were confused about.
It's confused messaging.
And it makes people ask the question, like I said, like, is it that you don't like the song you have with Willie Paul? And for me, I was like, that's actually very important. You don't want your fans starting to ask those type of questions. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Because people overthink, but then you see, at the end of it, it's just what miscommunication and the fact that they didn't like coordinate. So
artists should make the consumption of your music as easy as you possibly can for the fans. Like
100%.
let it be as easy as I look at what you're doing and I know exactly what you're trying to do, or I see what you're trying to do. It takes real skill to do that. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of like thought, like proper thought into the music, which is why I say, again, it sounds harsh, but then I don't think a lot of people are thinking that deeply about how we're going about art. And so it's something that we definitely need to change.
We need to improve on that.
Also, it goes and that goes into everything. It goes into your choices of production. It goes into the type of collaborations you do, and it also goes into things like album art and the visuals and the representation. Because if you don't have that plan and you're not trying to communicate your goal in the easiest way as you possibly can, then you just open yourself up to a lot of different things. For example, AI. Anyway.
AI gets a sub every podcast at this point.
Sub AI all the way until.
Yeah, but speaking of somebody who I feel like is moving actually a little bit more thoughtful with their music, Keemlyf.
Big Keem.
Yeah, I want to start with Keemlyf. So he released the song In Love. And the reason why I say he's moving well, like even the artwork was really good. And it's very simple. Like, and for me, that would be the artwork pick of the week. I just thought it looked very clean, very like retro with the it's very Pinterest. It's very Pinterest. It really is, but it's nice.
That doesn't sound like a compliment.
No, that's a real compliment. Like when I was learning how to do Photoshop, I used to watch a bunch of tutorials on how to make like Keemlyf's artwork for In Love.
Yeah.
But no, I love it.
It's a light leak that I've seen a lot of that.
And so I really love that release. Like it's Afrobeats. Like he mostly does Afrobeats. It's very Rema inspired.
Produced by MP Jazbeatz.
Okay,
yeah, he's been doing a lot of just like it almost feels like trial and error and saying like what he's comfortable with. And he obviously does that. The thing about Keemlyf is and I guess this would be my only drawback, is how do I say this?
The authenticity.
Yeah, because sometimes, I mean, when you really push, when you push the Afro beat sound, you tend to try to take on like pidgin English and stuff like that, and sometimes it just doesn't work, you know. But he seems a little bit comfortable with it. So, shout out to Keemlyf and the release.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with your authenticity take, but I mean, people be doing accents. Like people try and like experiment with different accents and see how that works for them. Another release where somebody was experimenting, Tesla. Tesla dropped a song. It's on a compa beat. Like everyone has been doing compa of late. It's called Mon Bebe by Tesla. And she's speaking French and she's doing like the compa, like is it Haitian, like with that kind of like vibe.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So shout out to Tesla. I mean, she's experimenting. And I respect it when artists like try to experiment a little bit.
Yeah.
But then
as long as they
understand,
settle down on something that feels more authentic
but
to
you
them.
see where Keemlyf was doing well is that he was integrating like Kiswahili, like Kenyan stuff and whatever.
He was almost doing pidgin Swahili at some point.
Yeah, so at least you can see there's an attempt there to like make it more Kenyan.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do understand people who feel like this doesn't sound Kenyan, but it's good though. It's a vibe. I really enjoyed it. I also listened to Waiting by Aerial Ways and Ben Soul. Aerial Ways
we talked about
Aerial Ways.
We played her before with Fena, right?
With Fena, yeah. So Aerial Ways from Rwanda has been She's collecting the Infinity Stones
of Kenyan artists.
Yeah, that's what she's doing right now.
Yeah, she is, man. She has a couple of good collaborations as well. They're not just...
So I listened to that. I really enjoyed it. So shout out to Ariel, shout out to Ben Soul. I also listened to Mwenyekiti by Kalamoto and Mtalibani Halisi.
Yeah.
Bro, like they were actually speaking on there. And that's like some music that I feel like hasn't been the forefront as much of late, whereas people going on songs and actually telling stories, because it was this like storytelling thing about like him talking to like one of the leaders in like Mombasa over there, and then like there's like a whole back and forth where you do it in like you speaking, and then now you do it in the voice of like the politician.
That almost reminds me of, what's this guy's name? What's this artist who always talks about
I know what you're issues? Saying. The guy who always talks about things from perspective.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're saying. Man? I can't remember his name.
Let me see if I can find it. But yeah.
But yeah, so they did that perspective like shift thing, and I really respect it. So shout out to Kalamoto and Talibani Halisi. I would say I also listened to Sakamali. Listen, everybody here knows I'm not the biggest connoisseur of Afro House, but when I do like something, I generally do. So Hiribai, DJ Mura, and DJ Paps released that song.
Yeah, finally happy they got to release it though, because we've been hearing. Personally, I've been hearing it because I mean that's part of the
okay, Mister. I have insider information, and I'm cooler than you, and I just know everything.
What? Why are you doing that?
It's coming from a place of insecurity.
Yeah.
Don't you love how self-aware I am?
Bro, I'm going to ignore that. No, so yeah, Hiri, Paps, and Mura, I mean, part of the safari. So I'm just saying that this is a song that I've heard in the studio. And we've played at shows also, some of the ritual shows. So it's like just good that it's finally released. Shout out to those guys, Hiri, Mura, and Paps. There's a lot of good music underneath the surface that needs to come out. I'm really hoping.
The Safari on surface.
Yeah.
The last song I'm going to shout out is Caspeccio by Kushman. It's just fire. Like sometimes you listen to something and you're just like, yo,
you don't know what to say.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Nah. Kushman also releases a lot. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that's the last thing I wanted to shout out.
Cool.
What did you listen to?
I'll just shout out a couple of the ones you haven't mentioned. Cheru and Chris Barr, two very promising artists. Released,
2 C's.
Yeah, 2 C's. You have 3 C's later on. Released "Don't Chase Me Away." A really good R&B track. It's good to hear them together, and I think some of the ideas that they had on the track really worked well. So shout out to them. Some gospel, because we never really mentioned gospel music. Manolo KE released a song called Psalms 34. Manolo was because I discovered him around when he was working with Wodomolo. I don't know if they're still working together, but then I discovered him around the pandemic time, and that's when he was like rapping. I really wish we could revive that. This is just me and my interest, because I've been in the
by that you mean
Christian hip hop. I think what has happened is a lot of the Christian hip hop music has sort of it's morphed into just like gospel, like Afro-ish music. So there's not like focused efforts, at least for and I wish I could mention some of the other names that I'm thinking about, but then I don't have them like at the tip of my fingers. But then we used to have like actual like rap, like we have like a Calligraph Jones, the Brooklyn Boys, and that rap music. We also used to have like actual rap music for like the Christian side of it. I feel like that has been lost. It has been lost in the pop.
What do you think happened?
The Afro popification of music. And so even like real hip hop, sometimes I feel like it's also been lost.
Hip hop in general over here has fallen off.
It's just kind of fallen off. So like it would be really good to see that back and just see people actually like rapping and taking rap as a specific art form within the gospel scene, just to have, because there's many gospel fans, like and not just gospel isolated, but there's people who listen to both gospel music and secular music sounds, but then gospel music and the rest of the rest of the type
No,
of
so we're just the rest now. So now we're just the rest. You should have just said secular music because that's
So
what
let
it
me
is.
and then put gospel music and secular music. And I think there's a big space for that. There's a big space for gospel rap music. There's a big space for gospel R&B music. Like it doesn't always have to be worship, because when we think of gospel, that's what we think. We think of church. We think of worship. But I think that's a really big space to be exploited. Exploited is crazy. To be exploited by creatives and by artists. Like it's definitely open. But anyway,
Like no, I agree. I'm not like tapped into the gospel scenes, but like there's a bunch of like bands I used to listen to back in the day. Like I was a huge rock fan,
Yeah.
shock. And there's a bunch of bands who I recently realized, oh my god, these guys were gospel bands. Like Paramore was a gospel band. Switchfoot was a gospel band.
yeah, but they did it so well
that you just consumed it.
you just gone. Yeah, it's not, and that's
Flyleaf. There's a band called Flyleaf.
Yeah.
I think they were a gospel band. And it's just so seamless.
That's
like,
kind of what we need to do, right?
you know what I mean?
Because when you take the art form seriously, the labeling of things, and there's been a huge discussion of that over in the Christian scene, is the labeling of music. Some artists don't want to be labeled as Christian artists. They don't want to be labeled as gospel artists. They just want to be artists. That's a whole different kind of worms. You need to keep those worms in the can. But then, yeah, if you take the music seriously, I think your message just comes out. It's just like regular music. When you take it seriously, your message naturally comes out in it. But then it doesn't sound cheesy or corny, and which is one of the big things that when Christians do Christian rap, it's very people find it very cheesy because they feel like they don't connect a lot with the message. But then this is a very big space to be exploited.
I think it's a songwriting thing.
Yeah, possibly. And production.
But like there's a thing in songwriting, and I was seeing somebody talking about this on TikTok, where the good songwriters don't necessarily, especially in music, you don't necessarily have to be so literal in your writing. So I think the challenge you're facing, maybe I'm just thinking, is like some of those artists, like they'll approach writing like gospel music like like
from a sermon perspective, almost like
almost
preaching,
from that perspective.
And people don't like being preached.
Yeah,
at.
but you can always go about it in a more abstract way. And I think for me, I enjoy music that's more abstract, but it's still, for some reason, it gets the point even better. Like when it's more because I think that's what music is supposed to be. Music is about interpretation. It's about saying things that we're all feeling, but not necessarily saying like that rose is red.
Yeah.
But you find a way to say that in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's a songwriting thing. Like if there were more bands or like hip hop artists or whatever, just like doing that, but like making it like more relatable
to people, exactly,
and less literal,
taking it away from that
makes sense.
Yeah, and this is a big debate that has happened in that scene, the gospel music scene. But then taking it away from, it's not like youth group music, which is what they call it, youth group music. So it's not like youth group rap or youth group songs where you're repurposing melodies and what do you call it, of secular music, but then actually like creating. Listen, there's all the Christian artists, upcoming Christian artists, people who are interested. There's a huge space for creating great art, but then with a gospel message, and that's something I think that's really lacking. It used to be so dope with the gospel fathers and all of them, and that's music that used to play everywhere. Fundi Wamaji, that kind of stuff. Of course, that wasn't like specifically rap, but then there was rap. There was Giuliani and all those other guys, and so that was taken. It was a little bit more important, but then as I say, hip hop is sort of falling off. So there's just a space for that for R&B music. Moji Baba, also one of the bigger names in gospel music, also released a song called Nampenda Bwana. Idaziz dropped Nishike, a Dandara remix. And yeah, this
how did it sound? How did it? Because I didn't listen to it.
This one was cool. I like the melody. And I like how they went about it. Or rather, the remix. But it's what you expect from
Idaziz.
It's house music. It's the Afro house sound. It's kind of what you expect from Idaziz, but. yeah, and a couple of I mean, that's really what I paid attention to. Let me see if there's anything else that I sort of.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything aside from there was Trio Mio Dan Accords they released Feels So Nice. It's a dance hall jam. So yeah. I mean, if anything, this just goes to show we are very diverse because like there's just so many different vibes that are coming out every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Do you want to talk about our pick of the week?
Let's do it. Actually, you talk about because you're the one who told me about the song.
Yeah, I mean, so I click play on this song and I'm like, I haven't heard too much of his music, but this sounds very unique. And I'm talking about Joe Mistari. He released a song called Rekebisha. And what caught me like off guard, I guess, is it's just so unique sounding. The drum patterns and then the way it breaks down into like when he adds like the more instrumentation. I was like, this is just so fresh. You know what I mean? Like when you listen to something and you're like, wait, we're not just doing the same old
It's
old.
new sounds, man. We do need that. It's kind of cool. Produced by shout out to Kiriama. He's the one who produced that.
Okay.
Yeah, Kiriama in the house. It's just different. Like even when you play it, I was like, okay, like this is cool. Like it's new. Of course, people when they listen to new stuff, they're constantly weighing it. They're putting it up against what they're used to, and I think that's one of the things that sort of like keep us within the boundaries and inside our gate. Like it's fine. Like when you hear something new, we should like almost be bullish about embracing it. And like, okay, we're going to at least just because then it just pushes the boundaries a little bit further and further. And then all of a sudden you realize that you're living in a bigger world than you were in a couple of years ago. And as a creative, your mind is open to so many different things. So this is it's super fly, man. It's very cool. Interesting rapping style over like an interesting beat, doing different things than we had that we've heard before. So shout out to him.
Yes, sir. So you guys are about to listen to Rekebisha by Joe Mistari.
Yup.
And we hope that you guys enjoyed listening to Rekebisha by Joe Mistari. Why are you laughing, bro? I was trying so hard.
I know.
I was trying so hard, Sam.
Figure it out,
I was trying so hard. Like, please.
Yeah. But that's
Shout out to you guys for listening to the podcast and supporting us on this endeavor to highlight Kenyan music and see Kenyan artists get paid more and played more. Keep supporting the video. If you can comment what you think about the conversation. Like, share, and subscribe the 30% podcast.
There's one thing that else they usually say it's the notification. Something about the notification.
Oh yeah, turn on the notification bell.
No one does that. Does anyone ever turn on notifications?
I've never done that in my life.
It has never worked.
Never.
So then does this portion ever make any sense if people are never going to do it?
No, it does for some people.
Okay.
It does for some demographics. So hopefully for you. If you're new here, I usually like to end the podcast with the 3 C's, which is a mantra that I devised for myself. And I thought I'd share it with you guys. The first C being?
Communication.
Communication is a big part of it. But actually, confidence. But how do you communicate your confidence? That's very key.
You're doing a lot.
But it's true. Because that's what people are going to consume when they listen to your music. If you're confident about your stuff, trust me, other people will feel the same vibes. The second C is consistency. Always be consistent in your work. Try and do, I know it might be difficult to do, but at least every day, try and do something related to, in my case, the music. Try and make a beat a day if you're a producer. That kind of thing. Like, because I think consistency beats talent every single time. So be consistent and you're going to see dividends from that. And lastly, craft. Always work on your craft. Every day, dedicate. And I guess it's hand in hand with consistency. Every day, if you can spare 5 minutes, just try and do something. Read up on something. Watch a tutorial. Or just mess around with sounds on FL Studio and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Create drum packs and just have them sitting there because you never know when you need them. When you need them.
When you're with artists.
That's actually, especially for producers, that's like a hack. that I've seen a lot of producers do. Like I was watching Diplo break down the song he did with Sia. And he was like, there's times where he just sits down in the studio. He's not necessarily making music, but he just creates like drum grooves, like 30 minutes, 30 minutes long, just different drum grooves. Because then when you get into you get into the studio with an artist,
You just add those loops.
exactly. It's not like loops because it's things that like you're connected to it, right? So that's super like guitars, keys, save them as MIDI, stuff like that. That's being like prepared.
Preparation, essentially.
Preparation, yeah, and that's part of the craft. Hey, I contributed to the 3 Cs today. I feel
Oh
good
my
about myself.
god! High
Look at that.
five!
Oh, jeez. We should add the soundtrack. That's so cheesy. Anyway,
yo, that's that from us.
that's that then.
That's that then.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything for your adoring listener base?
Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. I think about you guys daily. You're constantly on my mind, just trying to know how best we can, take on this world together. And I really hope that you guys join me on the journey. I hope that we are able to conquer, because there's a lot that needs to be conquered out there. And we can do it, you and me and you.
This is how Sam talks to his girl, especially when he's on the brink of losing her, and then he has to do the most to get her back.
That is wild. This is
I was
physically
getting the ick listening to that. Anyway,
right,
we will see you
Goodbye,
guys
bro.
on episode 187.
Yeah.